Speakers Bank Podcast. Our voices, our views.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Speakers Bank Podcast, Our Voices, Our Views. We've invited our previous guest, Mary Anne Cosic, back to the episode today for her to talk about her NDIS experience from the very beginning, as she was part of the pilot group that was rolled out in the Greater Geelong area. So we want to just chat to her about her experiences, compare and contrast what's different now versus what happened at the beginning, and just get a better idea for the people that are also signing up to the NDIS program as well. So my name is Lynn and this is Kimberly. So Mary Anne, what has your experience been like with the NDIS? So from the beginning of when you did start in the pilot group.
Well, when it's, I don't know exactly when it started. It would have been, 4 years ago? So it would have been 2015, 16. Basically, anybody that wanted stuff got all the stuff they whatever they had on their wish list, they basically got it because they just basically were free for all. Mm-hmm. Now it's getting tighter. I am lucky that I got everything I needed when I needed it for the first three years that we've been rolling out in Geelong. But now they've started to tighten the screws, which is frustrating because the people that are making the decisions are not people that understand disability. They're CEOs, they're able-bodied people, they don't know what it's like to live with a disability. They have no idea of what are the requirements. They're making decisions which are affecting people and they've got no clue. Look, I was lucky. Not this review, but the two reviews before that, the first one I ended up with somebody, they did a big switch and I ended up getting, the first luck I had was Bria because she understood disability and supported me in getting everything I needed. The next one I got had no idea, had never seen disability in her life, and basically turned around and said, "You don't need that." And I went, how the hell did you come up with that conclusion? Oh, well, that's a luxury. Because this chair before this one used to tip me on my face. So every time I used to go out down the corridor or down a footpath, I land on my head. And I went to the NDIS and I said, my chair's dangerous. I am not safe in my chair anymore. You need to fix it. Oh, what's wrong with it? You've got to get assessed. Yeah, get assessed. And because it has a physio there, it never used to do it. So every time I used to get off public transport, I'd fall on my face. Every time I went down a gutter, I'd fall on my face. So I went in there and told them that this thing wasn't safe. Had 3 assessments and finally proved that the chair wasn't safe, got the chair. I wanted to go to Queensland because of the chair. I can't take it on the plane. These particular chairs cannot be taken apart to put on the plane. So I've got my old wheelchair that used to be able to go on planes, but I needed a set of batteries because the chair wasn't being used, the batteries were flat. And they go, "Oh, you don't need them. We're not going to pay for it." I said, "Well, how am I going to get around without my chair?" They go, "Take a care of it." I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm taking it care of, but I can't have them 24/7. You can't pay someone 24/7 to be your arms and legs." So they finally gave me my batteries. And then now they've cut my funding by a third because now the rule is they want everybody to use public transport. Yeah, I use 90% of the time I use public transport. But living in St Leonard, which is a $90 trip from Geelong to St Leonard's, they've cut me down to $66 a fortnight. Hello, it doesn't work that way. People need to be able to use transport when they need to. You can't just make these assumptions that people don't need their equipment, because if you give them the equipment, then they can be more independent. If you take their equipment away and say they don't need specialised services, you're actually disadvantaging them. You're not making them independent. That's the difference. The first couple of years they were throwing money everywhere, and now they're going, your special need doesn't need, you're not being considered. You can't have the $4,000 a year that you had, or whatever it may be. But they don't realise by taking one, you're actually creating a bigger problem. You're not fixing it, you're making it harder enough for the family, for the person, and for their independence.
Yeah.
Hello?
So you've seen a massive decline in what they're able to provide.
I don't know what they were able to provide or what they're being told to cut.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got autism or those type of disabilities that you can't see. They will, no, you can only have so many sessions with her. I hear so many stories on the bus, so many people go, it's not fair, our fundings are cut. But then to put to actually appeal it, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Because now they've cut, you can't, well, they've actually cut your support coordination. Now they're doing it. So for where I'm sitting, it's a conflict of interest. You can't have a lack that works with NDIS and supposed to be working for you and they're working for them. It don't work. Because she goes, if you need any common sense, I said, well, she goes, oh, better your funding's got cut. She didn't tell me it was transport till I actually went through the whole 30 pages of my plan and went, how come I went from 4,000? And I never used to use the 4,000 or because what they do is when your plan's due, they'll get you to go in 2 weeks early, and then they might do your plan early, and then they take your money off you and cut it out that way. It's just not, they don't.
Yeah, so you can just say it seems to be a lot of challenges. So what is your advice to people who have similar issues?
Okay.
Yeah, ask the question.
Okay, yeah, so there seems to be a lot of challenges with the NDIS scheme then and now still. So what advice would you give to anyone that's trying to sign up to the NDIS?
Don't give up. If you have to keep putting submissions in for reviews, keep doing it. Because eventually they'll get sick of you and maybe actually find someone that knows what they're on about. Because you can put in as many requests for reviews as you want. If you don't like your luck, you can ask to change them over. Just, you've got the right, you're the one that's got to live with a disability. So if you don't like it, keep fighting for your rights. Because no one else was going to do it.
Yeah.
You just got to know how to beat them at their own game. It's not easy, but it has to be done. Because these able-bodied people that are making all these decisions haven't got a clue. So you just got to find someone that can advocate for you and make sure you take someone. And the stupid rule is you can't take someone with you to advocate on your behalf. They have to sit there and not say nothing. So what's the point? That's not, I thought we were supposed to be a community that was self-advocating and making people more independent.
So you're talking a lot about advocacy and standing standing up for your rights and never giving up and fighting for what you deserve. But how are these little people, if we're going to call them that, how can they just charge up to the NDIS head office, knock on the door and say, these are the changes that need to be made, can you please implement them? How would someone go about doing something?
You have to go through your life. You have to go, there is a process to go through, but it's so screwed, if I can use that word. You just, because they fill out the paperwork, they can help you fill out the paperwork. But because they're working for that, you don't know whether the person's actually doing what, or whether they're advocating on your behalf.
Yeah.
Because I said to him, why did my funding get cut? Oh, because you can use public transport. I said, yeah, I use public transport because there's not enough taxis in my area. And if it's wet and rainy and cold, I ain't walking in the wet and rainy and cold if I can get a taxi.
So would you get more funding, like next year, if you use more all your
But
taxi?
that's what I tried to do, and the person that I had who was supposed to be, who was the independent support person, didn't understand what I was asking and didn't bother to, because I said to it, put the money, my transport money into my account so that I can, if I need to go to Queensland or when I need to do this or I need to do that, it's in my account and it's being used. That way, because NDIS now puts a certain amount in your account, because I self-manage. So you've got two different revenues. You've got the self-manage and you've got the organisation manage. So, and you can have a combination of both. So it depends on what you pick and how you manipulate it. Because you've got your core funding, which can't be used, which is for your equipment and all your hoists and what you need, and then you've got your flexible fund, which you can manipulate to help get you through the year. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're left in the dark. Nobody's going to say, well, if you do this, you're going to get this, or if you do it this way, you're going to do that. If you don't know how the system works, it's like walking through a mine, and if you land in the wrong spot, it literally explodes in your face, and then you've got to try and advocate for yourself.
So what's your final advice for people on the NDIS or looking at going on to the NDIS?
Look, we're going to all have to go on the NDIS, whether we like it or not. And from my perspective, it's been a godsend because, yes, I had issues with not being able to have carers when I want them, but now that I'm actually hiring my own carers, it's a little bit easier. You've got to work out what are the things that you will not give up on and what are the things you can work towards, because you've got to tackle NDIS in bits. You can't do it all at once, because otherwise you'll just end up going mental. So just pick 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 things that are really important and harass them and make sure you keep them and make sure you use all your allocated funds. And if they try to cut them out, you have to give them a really good reason why you need to keep those. And if it shows that it's going to keep your independence, they're more likely to let you keep it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, Mary Anne,
That's
and giving
okay.
us your insight about the NDIS. So thank you. That was just another episode of the Speakers Bank podcast, Our Voices, Our Views. Thank you.